Welcome back to the channel, and we'll be taking a look at episode 3 of Daredevil Born Again. After last week's 2-episode premiere, this week we get a courtroom episode, so I cannot wait to see how this episode will tackle the court case, and to see more of the White Tiger. I cannot wait to see him in the field kicking ass and taking names. I cannot wait to see how Marvel adapts him in the MCU. Anyway, let's get straight into this and see how the court case of White Tiger will be dealt with. After Matt beat the shit out of those two cops from the last episode, Matt then visits Hector Ayala. Hector then talks about a beach in Puerto Rico as he describes it to be very beautiful. His favorite place on earth, as he likes to put it.
White sand, the palm trees, and the cookie.
It's a small moment between Matt and Hector, but it is truly heartwarming to see Hector describe it, as he is opening up more to Matt Murdock, and it's really great seeing Matt spending time with his client in a more meaningful way, and trying to build a rapport with them and get essentially emotionally invested in his case. It is very much Matt keeping his humanity, and it is very much in keeping with the Netflix iteration of the show. After the opening, we cut to a truck being held up by two assailants. They are then killed, and then we cut to the BB report. I know I am speeding past this, but really nothing of significance happens. They get held up, then they get shot. And I hope that Fisk doesn't find out about this, otherwise he is going to be genuinely pissed. At least I hope he is. Anyway, with the BB report, we then get this unfathomably based man.
Somebody invades my privacy. I have no problem taking my piece and putting it to their head. That's it.
If you thought this one was based, you're right.
Honestly, that man is pretty awesome. We then get this dingus who adds literally nothing of value and could be cut. I swear, this guy just adds the most basic cliched moral grey shit. Oh, good versus evil, evil versus evil, good versus good. It's like, seriously? That's all you have to contribute to the BB report? So essentially, after the most pointless BB report I've seen so far, Fisk is having a lovely breakfast with Vanessa, and essentially Vanessa is now out of the criminal empire as he essentially has kicked her out of it, while Fisk is ruling over New York as a legitimate kingpin. Sheila then informs them of the killings at the docks, and Vanessa tells them that without someone ruling over them, they will turn on each other. And, well, you know what they say, no honor amongst tracksuit pants mafia. Fisk then tells Vanessa that this is not their concern, as Fisk has his sights on other aspects. As we then see Fisk's knuckles, and we juxtapose that with Matt's knuckles as he is washing his hands. Now, with that scene, I will say it was weird seeing that Fisk didn't really blow up. He essentially was just totally calm about it, which I find very weird. But yeah, with that scene where it juxtaposes Fisk's knuckles with Matt's knuckles, I do like that the show was essentially showing that these two men, while being very different with their morals, are very similar in some ways. And I think this is very much a hint that Fisk's bruised knuckles are not from legitimate, let's just say, activities. Matt then meets with the cop who he beat the shit out of the other night. So he did survive after being bat-flicked. We get some of Matt's classic smugness in this, as we get more of it later on. It's a little bit here, but we get more of it later on, and it is fantastic.
You know you don't need those glasses indoors, right?
I'm sorry, are you talking to me?
Who's there?
It's a smaller scene, but man, it's just so good seeing Matt taking zero shits from him, while the officer is trying to threaten him. It's amazing. We then see Cherry meet up with his contact and the witness, and he hands over drugs to keep the witness stable as he is suffering from withdrawals. Cherry, is this legal? I'm asking because as a former cop, I'm not sure you're supposed to be supplying drugs to the witness. Right? That's not legal, right? Officer Powell, you know, this guy, has taken the stand as the DA asks him about he and his partner, what their record was like, and telling his side of the events. Matt picks up on Hector's heartbeat and he is feeling a bit agitated, but he tells him not to react. I really like that Matt helps him out through this trial, even if it is painful to hear. I know that most lawyers probably say this to their clients when something has affected them personally, but it is nice to see on screen. Matt is then given his turn to cross-examine the officer, and we get to see Matt being so fucking sassy.
Told you have a black eye. I hope everything is okay. There's this thing they say in boxing, the best cure for a black eye is fast hands.
Damn, that just made me snuff, yo!
Matt then asks if he knows who Mickey Torres is, and surprise, surprise, he says no. And one of the other cops who has the Punisher tattoo tells another cop that Torres needs to be eliminated, or at least not testify. So this whole gang of cops acting like the Punisher, is this like a cult or something, or are they just cops who think they are above the law? Now, I heard that this is a storyline from the comics, and I haven't read it, so I don't really know much about it. But all I know is that Marvel essentially changed the Punisher's skull symbol because of police. And essentially they changed the symbol to this crap. Fuck, if they do change this symbol for this show, I'm genuinely going to be pissed. Frank Castle wouldn't give a flying fuck about changing his symbol. He's just a man on a mission that so happens to have a cool looking symbol. Cherry and his partner are then transferring the witness, Nicky Torres, to the courthouse as Matt and McDuffie wait. However, while they are on their way, Cherry is being followed by a couple of cops, as it seems like they are trying to stop him from testifying in court. Cherry is then stopped by Officer Powell as it's revealed that they did a little misdirection, and the witness, Nicky, goes to the court. Matt then examines the witness as Nicky then says that he is in fact a CI for the police. However, after he starts to see the large amount of cops in the room, he then gets cold feet and says he wasn't in the subway.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
Really? You really want to do this in front of Daredevil? Man, Nicky, you are fucked if Daredevil gets his hands on your Weasley looking ass. We then see Buck meet with the leaders of the gang, and like, genuinely, Buck is such a downgrade from Wesley.
I don't work for the mayor. I work for the man.
Because, man, that actor had just a uniqueness about him that made him threatening, even without necessarily doing anything. But Buck's only uniqueness is that he's British. And granted, being British is like a requirement for being a suited up middleman, but this guy just does not have that intimidating factor as Wesley did. He tells them to sort the shit out and by settling for 1.8. Now, I'm assuming it's 1.8 million, but it could be just anything. All he says is 1.8. But overall, I thought that this scene could have been stronger had we gotten a scene similar to the one in the original Daredevil. But then we would have gotten an obvious comparison, and my god, that scene just would have blown this scene out of the fucking water. Matt, Cherry, and McDuffie talk about other options. However, there was no paper trail, and their only witness, well, he blew their fucking case right up in their face. Meanwhile, Vanessa and Fisk then talk about the meeting as Vanessa was the one who sent Buck to that meeting point. Fisk says that he needs there to be chaos so that out of the chaos a stronger sort of order can grow from it. However, Vanessa says that she feels left out because of that, and that she feels attacked because she has Adam. Again, Vanessa, darling, do you actually value Adam? Otherwise, he is absolutely fucked if you keep bringing his ass up to Fisk. Are you insane? And to top it all off, they are discussing all of this illegal information in their therapist's room. Guys, are you kidding me? Couldn't you have done this at home at the very least? You fucking amateurs. What is this, amateur hour?
And you are a fucking amateur.
It's now time for Hector to be examined, and basically, Matt examines his side of the story. But then Matt has to do something unpredictable to change the outcome of the court case.
Mr. Ayala, yes or no? Are you the vigilante known as the White Tiger?
Now, Matt, buddy, I get that you mean well, but like, shouldn't you have consulted with your client? Or, at the very least, his wife about this? And also, you got the judge to ignore this fact from the last episode. So, by doing this, doesn't the judge have grounds to either suspend you or, like, some shit? I don't know the full extent of what would happen if this was the case, but, like, holy fuck, Matt. Like, you are really throwing a Hail Mary with this one. Anyway, we get back to the BB report salt mines. The guy just says he won't have a fair trial because he's Puerto Rican. Thanks, man. Very helpful commentary. Matt then meets with Hector in jail once again, and Hector is rightfully upset.
You should have asked me first. It wasn't your secret to tell.
Yeah, he's right. It wasn't his story to tell. It wasn't his identity to tell. I've got to side with White Tiger on this, but Matt says that he needed to do that because they were losing the case. Matt even tells him that if he wants to win, he needs to give up on White Tiger, to which Hector says,
Being the White Tiger is more than just putting on a suit. It's who I am. It's a calling.
Matt then tries to tell him that he can do other things to help out, and that he may not even miss being the White Tiger. It definitely is very much Matt speaking from experience, but I do think that Matt is trying to convince Hector isn't about convincing Hector. I think it is Matt trying to convince himself in not going down the path of Daredevil again, and trying to convince himself that there is no need for Daredevil. Matt and McDuffie get a bunch of witnesses who have been saved or have seen Hector do good deeds as the White Tiger. But like, why aren't we shown this? I feel like it would have been better if we, the viewer, are shown these events. Hell, maybe we can have a slow montage of the White Tiger doing these acts of service while intercutting with a number of witnesses to some slow Puerto Rican music. Matt even says the cops consider the White Tiger to be an ally, so wouldn't it have been cool to have seen the White Tiger save cops or even work hand in hand with the police? It would have been a great way to sell us more of the tragedy of the White Tiger. But I'm just getting ahead of myself. Maybe they were rushed for time, but I feel like it would have been more effective to have shown these events rather than tell. Anyway, Matt then name drops Daddy Morales, and that's just a cute reference. But wait, hold on. Wait, what? We have already come to the end of the court case? I thought this was going to be like a prolonged thing, but alright, I guess the court case is done. So Matt then gives off his closing statement, and it's good. It's not as enthralling as the Netflix ones, but it is decent enough. He brings up the fact that some of the cops actually like him and consider him an ally. And why would he go into a fight without a suit or his amulet? He brings up valid questions to the jury that will hopefully get him off. The ADA, however, tells that the jury that even though he's a hero, who gives a shit? Everyone is capable of doing evil shit, and I kind of agree with this, but like, bro, he has willingly done like amazing shit in terms of saving people. And apparently, to do some evil shit, he decides to not wear his suit and power amulet to kill a cop? Really? Then he describes what the guy who got splat would have felt when he got hit. Thanks, bro. You really put off all of these guys' lunch. I hope you're proud of yourself. Matt then goes to the empty courtroom with the choir going off, and he sits down in the pier holding his devil horn piece. And it's a 9 out of 10 scene. Absolutely immaculate. But I only have one problem with the scene. One glaring problem with this scene. Why didn't we get this in a church? Now, I can see the argument that he is putting his faith in the justice system to uphold the law. And valid. I totally get their viewpoint. But, I feel as though it would have been a great scene to have seen Matt in church. After all the pain, the suffering, the struggles of not just this case, but the last year, it would have been the climax of Matt's faith in humanity, as he would be leaving up Hector's fate in the hands of God. But I totally see that he is leaving his hands and his faith in the hands of the justice system. It was alluded to that he went to church in the last episode, but I feel as though it would have gotten a better reaction out of me if Matt was in church, and it would have made the final moments of this episode even more tragic, shattering Matt's faith. But hey, maybe I might retroactively look back on this scene and say it would have been a bit too on the nose if he went to church. It's now time for Hector's sentencing, and surprisingly, Hector is found not guilty of first-degree and second-degree murder, and even manslaughter. I mean, there was a slaughter, so technically, I think he should have at least gotten that. But whatever, it's a happy ending for Hector. We see some cops glare at Hector, but by God, this scene is really great. The choir, the acting, Karma de los Reyes was phenomenal in this scene. It's a really well done scene, because, my God, I really like this scene. However, Wilson Fisk is watching the news of the court case, and, well, he's not really in the best of moods out of it. Ouch. That must sting against your little no vigilante promise. Hey, Fisk. Matt the Rizzler Murdoch is then cooking dinner for Heather, and it's a very lovely scene that even references Foggy, and the drop from Matt's face from having a lovely time to then sadness upon hearing the name truly got me in the feels.
You're talking about your friend Foggy Nelson, right?
I'm glad that Heather got a more reduced role in this episode. She doesn't have her own storyline in this, but is more or less just a character to get us up to speed on Fisk, Vanessa, and Matt. I'm glad that they didn't shoehorn in a storyline in this episode just to fill the runtime for this case. I'm glad because this episode is a much more focused episode than the previous 2 episodes, as it dials in on the court case with some deviations as we get some scenes with Fisk. Fisk then tells BB Urich that the White Tiger getting off was a huge mistake and that the system doesn't get it right. A bit rich coming from you, mate. We then cut to Hector suiting up as the White Tiger, and the music, it just gives me goosebumps every time. Meanwhile, Fisk keeps going off about how vigilantes are cowards and that they are not heroes. However, he does say that he will hold up the court's decision and that
the rule of law must prevail.
And that's it for the episode. Wait, didn't I forget something? Let me check my notes. Hector gets out. He suits up. Oh, here it is. He hears someone screaming. He walks down an alley, and then he gets shot in the head. Wait, that can't be right. Are you kidding me? Oh, there's more. It turns out that someone was wearing body armor with the Punisher's symbol on it. And then the episode closes as we hear the noises of Hector's favorite place, the beach from the cold opening. And that's the end of the White Tiger. Wow. Like, way to leave all those White Tiger fans with blue balls. So this is definitely going to lead to Matt feeling guilty, unveiling his identity, right? To the whole world. And that he's going to go to Frank Castle to help him take out the crooked cops. Now, I am wondering, did Fisk order the death of Hector? Or was it purely just the cops acting out of a sense of revenge? It's entirely possible either way, but we will probably see this in the next episode. So that was episode 3 of Daredevil Born Again, and honestly, it's my favorite episode thus far. While episode 1 wrapped up a plot thread from season 3 of Daredevil and reintroduced us to the world and the characters, it was a very controversial episode with the death of Foggy Nelson. Episode 2 was a setup episode, and truthfully, some of it felt rather boring, and I questioned if we really needed it. Episode 3 zoned the fuck in on the Hector's storyline, and while it did deviate to see Fisk's story, it really focuses in on Matt and Hector's case, and it was really gripping, and I really like that. I do feel as though that the death of White Tiger was premature. In all honesty, I do feel like as though that killing the White Tiger was a mistake. Now, it's the MCU. It is entirely possible that the amulet may have kept him alive, or that he might be retcons to still be alive later down the line. But as of right now, I am basing it on the fact that Hector is dead. I mean, there is like no way coming back from this. Anyway, this episode was a big step up from the opening two-parter. The ending was annoying as I felt as though that we could have told more of White Tiger's story and got more adventures with him. Hell, even set up a spin-off with him. But, you know, we wouldn't have got the same actor because of the passing of the actor, but he was a great character in this episode, and it's tragic to see that both the actor and the character are dead. Besides the death scene being essentially used for a shock value, my only other problem with this is Fisk and Vanessa talking business in their therapist office and Matt not going to church. Besides that, I quite really liked the episode. Thank you all for watching the video. If you liked the video, please like and comment what your thoughts of the episodes were. Did you like it? Did you think it was the best one yet? Or did you think it was the worst one yet? Comments below and let me know. If you really didn't like it, let me know, because I'm very interested to see what you didn't like about this episode. And as always, subscribe to the channel. It really helps me keep me going. And as always, everyone, take care and have a good one.
Mr. Ayala, yes or no? Are you the vigilante known as the White Tiger?